I must protect the wild. Let the hunt begin.
Okay, Spreading Plague is a pretty bad matchup, so we need to try to kill him before turn 6, I guess. Deck is not very well equipped to do that. Looks like he's Aggro Druid. We're gonna hold the Pirate so we can combo it with Direwolf Alpha. By which I mean draw patches this turn. Wow, I didn't draw patches. No Huffer, please. I'll take it. Wow, we got the swipe for that. Also, he's playing swipe. I don't really want to Eagle Hornbow that, so we'll just develop a couple 1/2s. We are going to Unleash the Hounds so hard into that Hydra. I think if he plays 2 minions here, we can Unleash plus Sea Giant next turn. Oh, friend. Friend. This is lethal, right? We have 3 plus 6. Yeah. Well, sometimes they play a 5 mana, take 24 damage card, and then you get them.
Watch your back.
Let the hunt begin.
Keep a 1-drop. Oh god, what do we do? This one? This one? Oh no. That one, I guess? Alright, our 1-drop traded with his, and now we have board initiative with 2 1/2s. Can't really convert it at all with our current hand, though. Alright. Well, this is a really good juggler. Hit the average amounts of juggles, so I can't complain, I guess. Dude, Tar Creeper is tough to beat.
Trust the pirate's code.
Alright, we held back on the pirate last turn just because it felt better to use the hero power, I guess. Since it didn't really do anything, but we're going into our Necrotic Geist turn, so I think we want to get it down. Alright, Necrotic Geist still looks pretty decent here. Could play Sea Giant instead, there's no way that's better. The Necrotic Geist in this deck has actually seemed okay. It's all the other tokeny stuff that seems bad. But when the Geist works, it works. I guess he needs to combo Vile Spine Slayer. Okay, well, we have a cheap Sea Giant here. Oh. I don't believe we can play both. Play this, Sea Giant goes down to 3. We bump here, it goes down to 2. Because this has Death Rattle. Man, I think the Geist is still just better. Maybe I did the math wrong, but I'm pretty sure this isn't good enough. Would we rather kill this? Pirate Synergy, but we've already seen patches, so we probably don't really care. Just kill the thing that has more stats, I guess. Hopefully we can still play Sea Giant next turn.
The menagerie is for guests only.
You have to trade Southsea Captain into the Necrotic Geist. Why is this taking so long? Now we draw Cult Master. That would be dope. I mean, that's okay, I guess. We could not have played Highmane that turn with Sea Giant, right? So Alley Cat was actually probably the second worst card in the deck. Actually, Wicked Skeleton. No, I could have played Wicked Skeleton after Sea Giant, so that would have been better. Maybe Unleash was worse. But yeah, Alley Cat was pretty dumpster tier, and he just had the second Vile Spine Slayer. So after that double Geist for 6 value, we're still gonna lose. The 4-mana 1/1 top deck.
You are not welcome here. Ha, this guy's toast.
We're still dead, even if we draw Unleash, and that's the best card in our deck. Well, I mean, we're not, like, actually dead. We're just pretty much dead. Four mana, 7/7.
Well fought. I concede.
Rexa versus Rexa.
Let the hunt begin. Bring it on.
Definitely keep the 1-drop. I guess Direwolf Alpha's an okay follow-up.
Greetings, traveler. Greetings, traveler. Avast, matey. I'm in charge now.
Direwolf Alpha helps us find a nice trade here. Okay. Do we want to play Egg Napper or Rat Pack into that? Probably Egg Napper. Their death rattles are pretty similar. This just does 1 more damage here, and sometimes Rat Pack can get more value.
Such big teeth I have. I'm in charge now.
Use patches to clean that up, and then use the 3/1 to get a good trade on a 3/2.
Eat you with
And we're starting to token. See, a giant could be coming down pretty soon. Can play it this turn even. Do we want to? Probably. And I'm gonna choose not to trade all my little shitters in since we drew Necrotic Geist. He has Unleash here, we get kinda punished, but I don't think it's really that big of a punish. Oh, baby. We could trade all of our 1/1s into Misha, and then trade 8/8 into 8/8, or just ignore his 8/8 and go face. I kinda like using the 8/8 into the 4/4 and then trade the shitters into Hydra, though. That does a lot of damage. We're gonna eat 8 damage from this Hydra, but we're at 26. We have a much scarier board than him. And he's at 14. Not really sure what he can do to come back here. Probably needs an Unleash the Hounds, although he would have done it in the other order. Ah, speaking of order, get wrecked. Well, when it goes off, that's for sure.
Rexxar versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild. Let the hunt begin.
We'll keep one Direwolf Alpha as a follow-up to our turn 1. Let's go ahead and get 2 things on the board here. Even though we could just save the coin for next turn and then coin Bloodsail Corsair to combo with the Direwolf Alpha. I think I like getting the 1/2 on the board here. Alright, no wild growth. That's what I like to see. I'll just throw it on Juggler, I guess. We juggle. You get 4 juggles here. Oh, I just forgot to attack with patches. What a fucking shitter. Maybe the opponent won't notice and I won't be embarrassed. Okay. Of all the things that could have happened this turn, this one was not that bad. I think we just don't respect Spreading Plague because I don't think we can beat it anyway. Although we do have Cult Master, which helps beat it. But we only get to trade off 2 of our things, and he'll probably hero power into one of those that can be traded. We actually only get to draw 1 card with Cult Master here, huh? That kinda sucks. Maybe it's better to just go Direwolf Eaglehorn Bow. Maybe we just play Direwolf Alpha and pass? Because if we start trading, he's definitely gonna kill stuff with his other Scarabs. But then I guess he can just kinda kill half my stuff with his Scarabs next turn anyway. I don't know. I think I messed up my trades there, but it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. Oh my god, more taunts.
Death is eternal. My turn is not. We drew Unleash the Hounds, that's good.
we're looking to Cult Master Unleash next turn, so we're not going to kill either of his 3 health dudes, even though we could. It should be a pretty big red flag, I would think. So he might trade off both of his 1/3s. Maybe I should have swung into one of the 1/3s, and then he'd be tempted to use like the 1/4 or one of the 1/5s to clean it up. Maybe I could have done that. So we have 8 damage to spend here. I guess we want to kill this thing. And then put each of these down to 4 so nothing can trade into the Cult Master easily. Well, we drew a lot of cards. I'm not sure those cards really help us win the game. Not sure how we beat that card.
Well fought. I concede.
I thought it might be interesting to start doing like a recap at the end of a series once I'm done playing the deck, and I can talk about what things I feel like worked and what things didn't work, and talk about win rate and those kinds of things. So let me know how it goes. As far as the win rate for this deck, I'm too ashamed to actually say it out loud, but let's say it was quite poor. So why did I lose so many games with this deck? Well, the problem is that this is a deck that's trying to put token things on the board, and then usually it wants to take advantage of them the next turn. And the issue with that is all the board-focused meta decks basically do the same thing, but better. Like if you're up against Token Druid, instead of playing a Rat Pack, which gives some little 1/1s, they play a 1/6 taunt that keeps getting health every time they play a new minion. So it solos your Rat Pack and then still has 10 health. So it's hard to beat that. Or like against Shaman, they can use their hero power to get tokens. They can play Primal Fin Totem, which kind of does the same thing as Rat Pack, but for less mana, and it does it every turn. They have better ways to leverage their tokens through Flame Tongue Totem. They have Bloodlust to actually win games, which is something that this deck kind of lacks as a way to end the game. Like, yeah, you can trade off a bunch of stuff with Cult Master or Necrotic Geist. I guess slamming down a big Sea Giant or a Wicked Skeleton is kind of a win condition. But the other decks can just actually kill you with Bloodlust. Or they can play like 2 copies of Mark of the Lotus, which will give them a significantly bigger board than Necrotic Geist will give you, and they don't have to spend 6 mana on a 5/3. So compared to the other token decks, the other ones just do it better, and they have better win conditions. If you're up against Tempo Rogue, they just have efficient things like SI7 Agent to kill your threats like Direwolf Alpha and Knife Juggler. If you're up against Priest, they play like 12 AoEs, so every time you get a few tokens on the board, they just clear them. And basically it's pretty hard for you to reload the board more than they can clear it. And the worst matchup is probably Jade Druid, because they play Spreading Plague, and I think you just actually cannot beat Spreading Plague with this deck. You don't have a way to get through the taunts, you don't really have a way to play around Spreading Plague. You just have to go in against Jade Druid, hope they don't draw it, but they play double Nourish, double Ultimate Infestation, so they're going to draw it. Real tough matchup. As far as the individual cards in the list go, as you can see, I cut Wicked Skeleton because this card is garbage, maybe one of the worst cards ever printed. The problem is, on its own, it's a 4 mana 1/1. If you kill off 3 things, which is quite a feat really, it's a 4 mana 4/4, which is still garbage. This card is like Murabi tier awful. And in a deck like this, it's just basically straight up worse than Sea Giant. There are like some fringe situations where you'd rather have the skeleton than the Sea Giant, but not very many. I was playing Grim Necromancer for a bit, and the card's okay. It underperformed a little bit, I think just because inherently it's just kind of a low power level card. I recently tried replacing it with Egg Napper because they do kind of the same thing, but Egg Napper's a little bit cheaper. Basically, I just wanted to lower the curve a bit. I don't think this card was awful. but it would definitely be better in one of those decks that can actually use their tokens with Bloodlust or Savage Roar or something. Necrotic Geist actually performed pretty well. Pretty much every time I actually got to use it, it put in some work. But there were some games where it was stuck in my hand and I didn't have tokens, and there were games where I made like 3 2/2s and just still lost because the rest of the strategy was so weak. Maybe if the deck as a whole was a little bit stronger, this card would have been pretty good. And if you wanted to play this in like Token Shaman or Token Druid or something, it would probably perform pretty well. But I think those decks probably just have better late game, with like Bloodlust and Savage Roar to kill the opponent. Or if you wanted this effect in Druid, you just play Soul of the Forest. But yeah, it seemed okay, but it's a little clunky spending 6 mana on a single card that doesn't kill the opponent in a deck with such a low curve. So I guess at this point I should give a verdict on the deck, and if you've been listening to the rest of the wrap-up, it should be pretty obvious that I would not recommend you play this deck unless you're rank 20 and just really want to make some wicked skeletons.